What is going on, fantasy people? It is your boy John with the catch here to bring you all another mock fantasy football draft, baby. Fantasy football right around the corner, regular season football right around the corner. We are stoked here at the catch. Super stoked as well to keep pumping out this fantasy content to you guys. If this is helpful in any way whatsoever, please go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe for more future content like this, and let me know in the comments down below what we can do as a channel to help you in your personal fantasy football league. So this is a PPR scoring format. We have got the 5th overall selection in a 8-man league, and I am going RB heavy. I am not drafting a QB early. I'm not drafting a tight end early. I may select a receiver with my 4th or 5th selection, but I am going RB crazy in this draft. And then after that, I'm going wide receiver heavy, and we are going to see who we end up with at the quarterback as well as the tight end position. This would be what kind of follows my traditional drafting philosophy. So I haven't done too many mock drafts where I really stay true to my guns, and I'm going to do so here as we see Ezekiel Elliott with the 2nd overall selection, followed by Dalvin Cook, of course, CMC with the 1st overall selection. I think I got a little lucky. I think I'm going to get a great player with the 5th overall selection. But let's say CMC, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, and Alvin Kamara got selected. Nick Chubb or Aaron Jones would be the next two guys that I would target. And I don't even hate Zeke's fantasy stock is starting to just rise like crazy. Many believe that Dallas Cowboys offense is going to be lights out this year, similar to what we saw them early in last year. And Patrick Mahomes with the 6th overall selection in this mock draft. I have been saying it over and over again. You know your league better than we do, and there are leagues out there where Patty Mahomes goes within the top 10. I have secured him in a lot of these mock drafts around pick 25, 26, and now we see Russell Wilson going. I'm going to double check. Oh, it doesn't let me make sure I'm not playing in like a super flex league. I'm not. These might just be two homeboys in this draft together who are going out and getting quarterbacks early. It doesn't say that either of them left. No one's hitting us up in the chat. So, hey, I am going to record this entire mock draft and upload it, even with some of you guys out there who may be saying this is a fluke of a draft. And the reason I am going to argue that it is not is, once again, that there are fantasy leagues out there where people go crazy for a quarterback in the 1st round. Maybe not a Russell Wilson, maybe more of a Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson after the selection of Patrick Mahomes. But I'm going RB heavy, so this doesn't necessarily change a lot from our perspective here, and I'm going to upload this regardless, and we will keep chucking along here. So I like the selections of both Jonathan Taylor and Najee Harris from this standpoint, and I am actually going to take Jonathan Taylor over that of a Saquon Barkley and a Najee Harris, because while I believe it is reasonable for Jonathan Taylor's draft stock to have dropped quite a bit, I still think he's going to have a great year, and I just want to put that out there that I still think he is going to see over 1,000 rushing yards and probably right around 10 plus touchdowns and a receiving touchdown or two. And I still think about 300 receiving yards is accurate, so I still think he's going to have a fantastic freaking year as we move along in this heavy mock draft. And I can tell you that Clyde Edwards-Helaire and David Montgomery are my next two targets if Antonio Gibson and Najee Harris do not fall to us. And with those early quarterbacks going, we do have an opportunity here to see one of these, either Najee Harris or Antonio Gibson slide to us, as we only have 4 more selections until we pick. So this has been a little crazy, a little bit fun, and I like seeing us being put into some of these different positions within these mock drafts. Ton of fun for me to see something come out and be a little bit different. And I think it does represent what could potentially happen in a personal fantasy league. In our, mine and Stevens, my co-host family league, we have seen Patrick Mahomes go in the first round. So, I'm all for this. I think this is super exciting and not seeing what we typically see. Although that Russell Wilson pick, may annoy some of you out there. So we do see Antonio Gibson and Joe Mixon off the board. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire and I'm going to make David Montgomery my next target. And and he is off the board. So I was kind of hoping that, with securing Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that David Montgomery would slide out of there. But he did not, which is okay. I do like Chris Carson and Josh Jacobs here. Those are kind of my next two targets. J.K. Dobbins and Miles Sanders we can throw on here as well. And then I think after that, we see a pretty significant drop off in the value of running backs. Although, if you guys have been watching and keeping up with my mock drafts on this channel, you know that I do like a lot of the running backs in that next tier or so at the running back position. So, really, the purpose of this mock draft is just to go super RB heavy in an 8-man league and kind of see how the rest of the draft fills out. So we are selecting in 3 more picks, and I will say DK Metcalf falls to me here. I will pick DK Metcalf. I did mention that a little bit earlier on. There are some receivers that if they do fall to us, I will consider taking because we are going to go on a receiver spree after we draft at least 3 to 4 running backs here. And now DK Metcalf is off the board. Just too good of a value for me to personally pass up. So I do think we'd be reaching just a little bit for Josh Jacobs here around pick 8. But I do think that he presents some really good value, and I've seen a lot of people reaching for him. And hey, we're sticking true to the strategy. We're going super RB heavy. So now I will let you know if Miles Sanders falls out of here or a Chris Carson, then I'm going to go ahead and select them as well. And then go ahead on to that receiver, QB, tight end type of selections. But we're not selecting a QB or a tight end until we have at least 2 receivers. We are sticking to our guns with this strategy, and we are going to see what happens. And remember, guys, even if there are some players projected higher than a player that you are very high on, like Chris Carson, J.K. Dobbins, and Miles Sanders were in comparison to Josh Jacobs, trust your gut, man. If Josh Jacobs is the guy that you think is going to have the best year out of those 4 players, then go select Josh Jacobs. Follow your gut. I mean, fantasy at the end of the day is all speculative, and we don't really know what's going to happen. And all we can do is try and help you guys and help guide you guys. And at the end of the day, your gut feeling could be way better than my gut feeling in terms of fantasy. So, don't necessarily get lost in the rankings and stick true to the people that you add to your draft board before you go out and draft. So we have seen Josh Allen taken in this 4th round and a little bit of a run at the receiver position. A lot of the number 1 receivers being taken off the board very quickly, with CeeDee Lamb at the top of the 5th round. And I have 3 more selections until my pick, which gives us a very good chance of securing a Chris Carson, J.K. Dobbins, or Miles Sanders, as we now see Chris Carson off the board. And very likely that J.K. Dobbins and Miles Sanders could be taken here, as we see J.K. Dobbins off the board and Miles Sanders being the top running back on the board, not selected. DeAndre Swift now selected. So I am taking Miles Sanders, super RB heavy. Would you be upset if he started your draft in an 8-man league? Remember, this is an 8-man league, so it's a little bit easier to build a strong roster overall. But would you be upset with Alvin Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Josh Jacobs, and Miles Sanders? Remember, when I picked Jonathan Taylor, we could have picked a Saquon Barkley. There were some other running backs on the board at the time when I picked Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We could have picked David Montgomery. So keep notes on when you're doing these mock drafts, what other players are available. And so you can use that as comparison to know the value of who was available. So uh, this is a lot of running backs, right? But I am all for it as my selection is next, and we can still potentially go out and pick a Lamar Jackson here. Crazy. I told you guys I would be going receiver after running back, so that's what we're going to do. But just imagine adding a Lamar Jackson to this team would be absolutely freaking nuts. So let's go ahead and let's shore up the receiver position with the Chris Godwin. Get who should be Tom Brady's #1 target this year. I think if you're playing in a standard scoring league, then Mike Evans is a pretty good value there, as well as he kind of presents more value in terms of touchdowns. And we have 6 more picks until we select, and I'm just going to take everything other than receiver off the board because part of me is very, very tempted to select a quarterback, but like I told you guys, we are only going to select a quarterback after we have at least 2 receivers. So we do see Lamar Jackson off the board with the 47th overall selection, and now Travis Etienne off the board. So plenty of good receivers left. I like the value of Cooper Kupp here, of DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett, Julio Jones, and Adam Thielen quite a bit as we now see Dak Prescott off the board. So those quarterbacks are going, and they're probably going to start going pretty quickly as Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, all still on the board. So plenty of good quarterbacks available as we see a run on tight ends with Hawkinson as well as Mark Andrews off the board. So lots of good players outside of the receiver position going, which kind of gives us an advantage to continue drafting these receivers. So who would you guys be kind of targeting here? Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, as we see Adam Thielen off the board, Julio Jones, a lot of big names here. So I am, considering this would be PPR, I'm going to go ahead and take Cooper Kupp, an absolute PPR machine, who I think Matthew Stafford is going to very much enjoy targeting this coming year. And then we're going to kind of hope that Julio Jones slips out of here. And then after that, we will go out and we will get a quarterback and tight end and then simply draft the best players with upside, as we are absolutely stacked at the running back position. I do like DJ Moore and Tyler Lockett here as well, and I think in some later rounds we can get another receiver of great value, as we have now seen 2 defenses picked in the 8th round. To follow up on that last round, we did see Kyler Murray and Gronk as well as Amari Cooper off the board, and now Myles Gaskin off the board as well. I'm just going to go out and I'm going to pick Julio Jones, who I believe presents the best value, but I would definitely argue that DJ Moore is of very high value here, the sure #1 receiver in that Carolina Panthers offense. Let me know if you guys are staying away from Carolina Panthers players outside of Christian McCaffrey, at least at the receiver position, if you think that Sam Darnold hurts their value, or if you think they are as safe as anyone else. I can tell you, if DJ Moore slides here to pick 69, he is the top rated player on the board, followed by Tyler Lockett. I like both of those players here. I would consider straying away from a tight end or a quarterback here, and selecting one of those guys. But I also like Mike Davis as well as Damian Harris still available on what is already a loaded team at the running back position. But I think I will pass on those guys as we have the opportunity to potentially go out and get kind of the last receivers in this tier, as we now see DJ Moore off the board. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get Tyler Lockett, and just go ahead and shore up that receiver position. And now we have all the power in the world to go out and get a quarterback. And we're going to hope that Ryan Tannehill is available for us. But if not, we still have Jalen Hurts as well as Aaron Rodgers available. And at this point, I wouldn't mind drafting 2 quarterbacks and then just going on a tight end run. I still think there are plenty of good tight ends available. Tyler Higbee, Robert Tonyan, Logan Thomas, Mike Gesicki, Hunter Henry, a lot of guys that I like left. But as we now see Mike Davis and Chase Edmonds, and then Jalen Hurts off the board. So I am going to go out and I'm going to pick up Aaron Rodgers here. And then I'm going to hope that Ryan Tannehill falls to us and we get two elite quarterbacks, in my opinion. Aaron Rodgers having the more difficult schedule out of the two. Ryan Tannehill, as we see Robert Tonyan off the board, that hurts. That was probably my next highest rated player, but I do think that we still have some opportunity with who is left here, and I kind of am liking Tyler Higbee as our 85th selection, and this mock draft is starting to come closer. But this team, I am actually very happy with how this team is starting to look, and I will say with the difficulty of Aaron Rodgers' schedule this year, Ryan Tannehill is looking like the player that I want to go out and secure. And that would leave us with just one more bench opportunity outside of, if we were to go out and pick up two tight ends, which might be worth doing here. With Tyler Higbee still available, but I am going to go ahead and stick to my guns. I'm going to pick up Ryan Tannehill here, and then from here on out, we are going to pick a tight end or two. Definitely targeting both Logan Thomas and both Logan Thomas and Mike Gesicki, as now Tyler Higbee is off the board. But I'm starting to feel pretty confident in this team. And I can tell you, I don't personally play in any 8-man leagues. I'll do it this year. Maybe Steven will, my co-host, if you guys want us to, and to track an 8-man team all year long, let us know in the comments down below. We definitely have plans to track at least two 12-man leagues, maybe a 14-man league, and then I will be tracking the 20-man league that I do plan on playing in this year for you guys. As long as we still can get all 20 people in, I do think that that will happen. So let us know if you guys want to see us tracking an 8 and 10-man league throughout the year, because we will certainly put in that work for you guys. Let us know in the comments down below. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button, as well as subscribe for more future content like this. We greatly appreciate you guys doing so. It really does help out the channel, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. So as we've seen Chase Claypool now go off the board, it is my turn to draft, and I am going to go ahead and pick up Logan Thomas here, who I think is going to get a lot of red zone opportunities coming from that of Ryan Fitzpatrick at the quarterback position, which leaves us with Mike Gesicki as probably our final selection, going out and getting two very good tight ends this year, and two tight ends that I am happy with. And Mike Gesicki does get selected. There are certainly plenty of good receivers left on the board that I wouldn't mind adding, like a Jerry Jeudy, an Antonio Brown, or even a Mike Williams. So let's go ahead and check out the running back position, which we are not in any way, shape, or form concerned about. I can tell you a lot of these handcuff guys and late round guys are going to start flying off the board in the coming rounds. So whether we were to end up and going out and getting a Jerry Jeudy, an AB, a Mike Fuller, or Mike Williams, really my favorite receivers on the board. If Mike Gesicki does not fall to us, I'm definitely considering forfeiting a kicker here, but we'll see kind of what happens. That's the thing, like I said in a previous eight team mock drafts. No matter what, there's going to be talent on the board at the end of the draft. No matter what, during the season on the waiver wire all year long, there's going to be good players, and that's really the unique challenge of an 8-team league. Is you kind of have to pick and choose out of a lot of top talent who you think is going to perform the best. So let's move my face down, yeah. And let's check out this queue as I have 17 seconds. A lot of players that I really like here. And I am going to go ahead and stir up the tight end position with the Mike Gesicki. But if Jerry Jeudy, as much as I like AB, Will Fuller, and Mike Williams, if Jerry Jeudy falls into this next selection, then I will go ahead and more than likely add him to this roster, which I am very happy with after going super RB heavy. So we will see what happens as we now see Joe Burrow off the board to end the 13th round. Top of the 14th round, we've got Irv Smith Jr., Kansas City defense, and Jerry Judy off the board. So I'll just keep this a tried and true overall draft, and we will go ahead and cap things off. And believe it or not, well, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll add the. Just want to make sure I'm tapped out before I make this selection. Yeah, I am. Okay, so I want to make sure. We'll add the Denver Broncos defense to this squad. He's going to have a very elite front seven and be forcing a lot of turnovers this coming year. And we will go ahead and we will not forfeit a kicker. But Antonio Brown, Will Fuller, and Mike Williams at the receiver position still left. So add Blankenship to the top of our queue. Let's crack down this 8-man RB heavy roster, baby. All right, so at the quarterback position, we do have the MVP of last year and his, gearing up for his last dance approach in Aaron Rodgers. And to back him up, we got Ryan Tannehill. So we feel very solid at the QB position, except for the fact that they have the same bye week. So I will, theoretically, I would have to stream someone. My mistake. Let me know in the comments down below if you would still consider drafting both of these guys, even if they have the same bye week. But overall, up until week 13, we're going to feel very confident at the quarterback position. So at the wide receiver position, we have Chris Godwin. We do know that this would be a PPR scoring format. He is going to get a ton of targets in a very explosive offense this year. We've got Cooper Kupp, who may be the number 2 receiver. I'm going to go ahead and add Rodrigo Blankenship to finish out this team. But Cooper Kupp is still going to be a absolute target for Matthew Stafford and what I think will be a very good Rams offense this coming year. Outside of that, at the receiver position, we've got Julio Jones, man. I mean, what better player to have on your bench and be able to flex week in and week out. We've also got Tyler Lockett, another very valuable player to flex week in and week out and have on your bench. So I'm very happy overall at the receiver position. We saw at the end of the draft, we still had players that we could have added at the receiver position that I would have been very, very happy with overall. So nonetheless, as I'm scooting my face all over the place, receiver position looked very strong throughout this draft, and I think in any 8-team leagues that you guys are doing mock drafts and or participating in, the receiver position is going to be very strong throughout. So do not panic at the wide receiver position in 8-team leagues. Now, at the tight end position, we waited very long to draft a tight end, and we ended up with Logan Thomas and Mike Gesicki, who I think present very similar fantasy value, and 2 tight ends that I'm very happy with, especially with where we drafted them while we bolstered up the rest of this roster. So I'm happy with both of those guys. And to cap it off, I mean, we went out and we got a Denver Broncos defense as well as Rodrigo Blankenship of the Indianapolis Colts, and those are one very good kicker and one very good defense. Remember, don't stress about your defense. You can always stream week in and week out against poor offenses. So at the running back position, to cap things out, we went RB heavy tonight in this 8-team league, and we are very happy. We've got Alvin Kamara, we have got Jonathan Taylor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Remember when I selected Jonathan Taylor and Edwards-Helaire, there were other running backs available that we like. We've got Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders as well. We have what looks to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 starting running backs. The only one who has some potential hurt to his value is Josh Jacobs, but overall very, very happy. You guys know that I believe in Josh Jacobs this year, so super happy with this heavy RB approach. If you are playing in 8-man leagues, this is something I would definitely consider. So I thank you very much for watching and or listening and getting through this mock draft with me. Please let me know in the comments down below how you think this strategy worked out, how you think it could have been utilized better, anything I could have done that could have been more useful to you and your personal fantasy league. Please let me know. I appreciate any love and or support, as well as criticism, any feedback in the comments down below. And while you're there, smash that like button, guys. Go ahead and subscribe for more future content like this, as well as our annual The Catch podcast. We appreciate all the love and support we've been getting this past week or so. Shout out to all of our subscribers and any future subscribers. We appreciate all of you. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch.